What's going on YouTube? Sparks Comics here, bringing you another comic review. We're going to rename these comic reviews to the Sparks Notes for you guys, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be on Scarenthood Volume 1. So we just had issue 4 come out this week, and I'm super excited to bring you guys this review because this book is creepy. This book is amazing. I'm going to break it down for you guys. There's probably going to be some spoilers ahead. I'm trying not to bring in too much of the spoilers for you guys, but there will be some, so just a heads up. Before we get to that, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video. Let me know what you guys thought of this book, of Scarenthood, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. All right, welcome back everybody. Let's get into this. I'm going to show off first what the covers look like because I love these covers. I like the style they went with to keep it consistent from book to book. So we've got issue number 1 here with the, I believe this was 1:10. It might have been 1:15 ratio variant. So super cool and super relevant to the story. So I like how that creepy statue there with the vines growing on it becomes very relevant and very central to the story. There was also a second printing of number 1, which features what looks like Cormac's fridge. He's the main character, one of the main characters, and then his daughter Scooper or Bethany. We got the night and day, letters, numbers, to-do list, and this is what I love about this. Get Scooper to school, hunt ghosts, fight demons, get coffee, pick up Scooper, lunchtime. And then it features also Little Pixie's Montessori, which is the school that Scooper is attending, so it's a cool touch on that cover. And then cover for issue 2, I just got the cover A, no ratio on this one, but we've got an empty stroller here. And then issue 3, looks like maybe we've got something creepy going on here. We got some church symbolism, betting slip, this is Big Boy to Lose. Some things going on in this one, and this does kind of get into what happens in the story, so I don't want to talk too much about that. And then this last one, we got this creepy hand coming out somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where because again that gets into some spoilers, but this is creepy and I love it. So let's talk about the book. Covers already, I'm telling you guys, I'm 10 out of 10 on these covers. Like, they're simplistic but very detailed and actually throw some hints of what's happening in the story off the top. So I appreciate that touch there. So getting into everything though, this story and art is by Nick Roche, colors by Chris O'Halloran, letters by Sean Lee, logo design by Wayne Daly, and this is published by IDW. So what's interesting is I don't usually read IDW books, but lately I have picked up a couple IDW books, including this one, including Sea of Sorrows. So they've been doing some good original content that's not just the TMNT, Transformers, those properties that they own. They've been doing some good original indie titles. So very much a fan of what IDW's been doing recently. So just to give you an idea of what the insides look like, I really like the art on the inside too. I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10 just off of everything that happens in this. The things that are a little creepy, I think they do a great job depicting them. Really, really high quality, I have to say. Details in here are very good. Backgrounds are very good. Character designs are great. Really just top notch. So what this book's about, Cormac is the father of Bethany, and I believe they just moved into where they are and just enrolled her in this Montessori school. And at the start, it seems like maybe this is not going to be that great of a story. It's kind of boring. He's bringing his daughter to school. He's talking with the other parents and overhears, Flinno, one of the other main characters, talking about some conspiracy theory kind of stuff, and he kind of calls them some names and they almost go at it, but the kids come out and everything's fine. But something foreshadowing that he kind of says is that this play school is built from the remains of an old hunting lodge that was burned to the ground by the devil. But they're in Ireland, so keep that in mind if we're looking at some of the words here, maybe spelled in a way that's going to be how they're pronouncing it. So I do like that. And so that kind of introduces that something might be amiss, right? And so nothing really terrible goes on during that day. The kids go on a school field trip to the zoo the next day, and the four main characters are the only ones really not going on the field trip. So we've got, of course, Cormac, Scooper's dad. We've got Sinead, Flinno, and Jen. So they all have kids that are attending that school and they're off on the field trip, but they didn't go on the field trip. And so they're talking some more, and they're like, you know what? Let me show you something inside that school that's gonna, kind of prove something bad's going on in this place. And so there's these three statues that were in the the auditorium, and he's pointing at it, and one of them is missing. One of them is not where it's supposed to be, and so it's the statue of the Virgin Mary that used to sit in the empty alcove. So they eventually end up getting their way into there, and to prove a point, Cormac says, look, I'll go under the stage that Flinno's older brother Brian actually had gone under and disappeared into years and years ago. And so he goes under there and he finds the statue under there. And when he goes to grab it to bring it out, he accidentally snaps off the top of the statue, the head of the Virgin Mary, and suddenly things go haywire. I guess that's the only way to put it right now. He had a phone that he was using as a flashlight. Suddenly, no battery. The people he was just talking to seconds ago that were outside of the area, they were outside the opening to go under the stage, suddenly not responding. It's dark. It's cold. You can see that because you can see his breath. So very good depiction of what's going on here. And he comes out and it was daytime and suddenly it's nighttime. He's only been in there for what himself feels like 5 minutes at most. And suddenly it's 8 hours later. And he's got 53 missed calls, 28 unread messages. And his first thought is, my daughter, like Scooper, what? And so he's got all these messages from people. Jen, one of the other people, is watching his daughter, and doesn't believe him when he tells the story of what's happening. She thinks maybe he's on drugs, having a breakdown, something weird's going on. And it just starts getting creepier from here. So we get introduced to some other creepy thing going on when he's back at his house. I don't want to spoil these things, guys, but they're so good. You get introduced to the creep factor. And the best part, I think, in issue 1 is the end. I'm not going to spoil too much. This is going to be a slight spoiler. But at the end, they're talking about things and they decide we're going to try to figure out what's going on. in the school, and they've kind of agreed that maybe something did happen, something weird's going on. Maybe Flino's stories are real. And so after they decide that, over coffee or whatever, they go and pick up their children. And as Cormac's walking his daughter back home, she says that she made a new friend. And his name is Big Boy. And he thinks that she's saying that the larger student, maybe a little fatter student she made friends with, and she says, no, it's a new student. He's new in our school, and him and me are friends. And it ends, and you can see a glimpse of him in the corner of that panel. So, ends in a creepy place. Issue 2 picks back up, not so creepy place, but things are starting to go a little haywire. And I don't want to get into too much of what happens over the next issues, but I want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what happens over the next bit. Issue 2 and 3 is a lot more build-up. We can see that Cormac is going a little bit crazy over these creepy things that are going on. They're digging more into their investigation of what's happened in the past, looking into that lodge that burned down, looking into a couple different things. In issue 2 and 3, there's a point where Cormac is pushing the stroller with Bethany Scooper in it, and suddenly, this is kind of near the woods. He suddenly can't push the stroller. It gets stuck in what looks like mud, but it really won't move, and he panics and he grabs her, and then they leave. And then the stroller's not there the next day when they come back. It's another random creepy thing that doesn't spoil anything really. But there's just a lot of creepy things going on. I will say we eventually meet Big Boy, because that makes sense. We're gonna meet Big Boy. And it is so good, guys. It is so good. The Big Boy reveal is amazing. The subsequent events of what happens, they're thinking the devil's involved. They get Father Sino from the church involved. Issue 4 is nonstop, really good creepiness and action. We think we get a resolution, and then we don't get that resolution. We think we get another resolution by the end, but there's hints that we are not done with what's happening. And there's another big twist at the end of issue 4, and I need somebody to read this so I can talk to you about this, because this is amazing. I don't ever give a 10 out of 10, but I am giving Scarenthood a 10 out of 10. I love the story. I love the creepiness of it. I'm excited for volume 2 to happen. I hope it's not too much longer till we get volume 2, because this story deserves more than 4 issues. It deserves a lot more than 4 issues. So please bring volume 2 to us a lot quicker. I can't wait for this book to be back, and I highly recommend you go pick it up, especially if you like a creepy book. Issue 1, like I said, only has a little creep. Issue 2, again, just a little bit. We're building it up. Issue 3 really hits it, and issue 4 hammers it home. Guys, read Scarenthood. There's 4 issues. Not much of an investment in terms of picking it up and reading it, but you will not regret picking it up. So thank you guys for watching this. I hope I didn't spoil too much, but I needed to put a little bit of spoilers in there to talk to you guys about what on earth is going on in this volume. Just drop a comment below. Let me know if you've read this. I need someone to talk to about this, because I love this book. It's only 4 issues. Go check it out. As always, collect what you love, and I'll see you guys next time.